Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and hello weekend. It is Memorial Day weekend. I'm getting ready to replace the front, all of the suspension on the Nova, starting with the front. The back, we do have a few components. I don't have the full suspension kit for the back, but as you can see, I've got a lot of parts on this table back here. We'll get to the table in a second, take a look at everything we're gonna do. But before, I just wanna talk about why we're starting with the suspension on our Nova project. Essentially, so far I've only been able to drive the car around the block in the neighborhood. The brakes are shot, the suspension is shot, so I really haven't gotten to get the car up to a high speed to see how the engine reacts, how the transmission reacts. So we're gonna start with the suspension and brakes, and then from there, we'll get the car on the street, see what it'll do, and then we'll kind of decide the direction from there. Of course, there's a lot of things I know I wanna do, but I wanna kind of do that based on need first, and then we'll start to look at the wants. But my first goal is to get the car on the road legally to where I can drive it on the weekends and enjoy it, and then we'll just continue with upgrades from there. But without further ado, come on over to the table. Let's take a look at the parts we're going to put on this weekend. So I opted to go with the QA1 Level 2 coilover suspension system, which comes with, or will convert over to the tubular uppers and lowers, a new sway bar, front and rear dual adjustable shocks. The front is the coilover system, as you can see there. I also went ahead and got new steering arms. That did not come with the kit. I got that because I've also ordered a disc brake conversion kit that's not here, and so I figured while I'm there I'll go ahead and replace those as well. From the steering components, I decided to do the Ride Tech steering kit. So as you can see here, comes with the tie rod ends. We've got the pitman arm, the steering idler arm, and then we've got the adjusters here as well. I won't do a full opening. We won't go through all of the hardware. But before we jump in, before I start tearing everything down, you'll see I've got the Nova jacked up, ready to go. I did want to just give you a quick look at what we're working with currently to see, so you can kind of see the before and after and why we're replacing it. I've seen worse, but at the same time, not in great shape. So definitely want to go ahead, address this now in the beginning. And then, like I said earlier, we'll move on to the other components. All right, I think we're finally ready. Been waiting for this all week. Parts are here, car's ready to go. We're gonna rip the old stuff out. We'll come back and give you a look at what it looks like once we get all that old stuff out of the way. And then we'll get the new stuff in. So, see you soon. All right, got a quick update for you. We got everything out, mostly. Of course, anytime you do a project, you expect the unexpected, at least one thing. So there's two things that I didn't really plan for that I'm gonna go ahead and do, one I have to do. And I'll show you that shortly. But before that, let's take a look at the boneyard here. Here's all the parts that we did take off. You can see just how bad of a shape some of this stuff was in. I mean, we really didn't have a choice. We had to get rid of this, which I'm happy about. I'm excited about the new stuff going on. But we'll take a quick look at the frame. This is one of the things I probably could have accounted for, but now that I have everything out, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the frame and then respray it black, nothing major, but just to make it look good with all the new parts. And as you may recognize, the second part of the unexpected is this upper control arm. We had an issue getting that one off. So I'll show you what we ran into and I didn't account for. This header here would not allow the upper to come off without hitting. So what we're gonna do, I did check, these are gnarled studs and they are available, you can buy them. So I'm probably gonna cut that one off, press it out, and then put another one in. I've looked at a couple different options. I think that'll be the easiest. I'm just hopeful. I've got to get that area cleaned up and to make sure it's not rusted around it and cause a bigger issue. I don't want to take the headers off if I don't have to. So we're going to try to avoid that. So those are the next two things that we're going to go ahead and do before we start to put anything new back on. So I'm gonna go ahead and get after that, and I'll give you an update once we get that fixed. This was hell. Let me go ahead and just kind of talk about, I was going to press the bolt out, or the stud out. I thought it would be easier to cut the arm and maybe get it out. Obviously, I ended up having to cut the bolt anyway, so I'm going to press it out. The good news is I was able to find a replacement, so I do have that. Now it's just another thing I've got to press out and take time to do, so I'm going to go ahead and get that set up now. All right, I'm going to show you my homemade setup here. This is what we're going to try first. So I've got a C-clamp set up here on the back of the knurled stud here. And then I have a socket. So I'm going to try to tighten this up and press this out back into the socket. So we're going to see if this will work. This will be the easiest way to do it if it works. Don't know where the bolt went, but it did work. All right, that went better than expected. That came out a lot faster and easier than I thought. Here's the new stud. I was just gonna show you the knurling on the top there. So we should be good to go. We're not gonna put this in yet because we may have to time this when we put the upper arm in, because we'll run into the same problem. I think if I press this in, it's gonna go in too far to where I'm not gonna be able to get the new upper on. So we're gonna do it all at once. So for now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna clean up under the wheel wells, put a little paint under there, and then we're gonna go ahead and wrap this video up for part 1. Part 2 will be the installs. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this knocked out. Well, that's a wrap. These parts are done. They've seen their better days. They're on the way to the junkyard. We made a mess of the garage. We're going to go ahead and get that reset, cleaned up, ready for the install so that we can do that in a more orderly fashion. We're going to go ahead and make 2 parts instead of 1. This video goes longer than I expected based on the problems that we ran into that we weren't expecting. So thanks for watching. I hope you'll join us for part 2. If there's any projects that you have similar as far as getting your car ready or just doing some things under the wheel well, cleaning things up, I'm going to go ahead and put some links in the description for some of the items that I use, just in case you're wondering what I used for these. So if you're interested, that'll be there. If not, hope to see you on the next episode.